What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Get a Grip Sports Basketball. Today we're going to be going over all the big news in the NBA today in free agency. Let's start it off with none other than the one, the only, Carmelo Anthony. He came out today and he is re-signing on a one-year contract with the Portland Trail Blazers. He plays valuable minutes and still shows potential with his jump shot. Although he's not that great of a defender, a one-year contract is definitely a good decision by the Trailblazers. Next up we have, this came in while I was recording this video, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope re-signing with the Lakers on a 3-year contract. This will be a very good upgrade for the, not an upgrade, but keeping Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was one of the main things that we had to do this season. He played great in the playoffs. He had like 10.7 points per game. He is a key player in the Lakers franchise, and I am excited that they re-signed him for 3 more years. Next up, we have the only trade of the day. We have Steven Adams going to the Pelicans and joining Zion Williamson. We'll probably see Zion Williamson playing forward, Steven Adams at center. They already have a Lonzo Ball playing point guard, and let's just say he's gotten so much better since when he was with the Lakers. Zion has huge potential, Lonzo has huge potential, and Steven Adams is just a very valuable center veteran. Pelicans, as I said before, are the most promising team for the next 5 years. Fred VanVleet. I made an episode earlier talking about the top 10 free agents coming into here, and he was ranked at number 2 or 3. He has shown great promise coming in to the Raptors after he emerged after Kawhi Leonard left, and he kind of took over the forward/point guard position. He plays backup point guard next to Kyle Lowry, and he is a great player, very underrated. He re-signs with the Raptors for 4 years. I think he's only going to get better. At the end of his contract, we will see. He'll probably sign for less money. He'll be in his 30s by then. It's going to be very interesting to see if he turns into more of a forward than a guard while Kyle Lowry is still here. If he wants more playing time, he'll have to turn into a full-time forward. But if he doesn't want to change, he's going to be a guard for life. Next up, we have the reigning slam dunk champion, Derrick Jones Jr., heading over to Portland. Portland is just a very good team. They got the 8th seed last year. Carmelo's getting better. He gets better with age. He's like Gallinari. Damian Lillard, I firmly believe that Lillard is one of the top 5 most valuable players in the entire NBA. His shooting, just combined with his athleticism, it's almost unguardable. CJ McCollum is a very good assist man, and if he wants to, he can play absolutely lights out. So Derrick Jones Jr. plays guard/forward. He is not a very big impact player. He's more of he could come off the bench and do better than a starter. I don't think this is a great move by the Blazers. They could have signed other players that have the same skill set as Jones, but provide better value. For example, Jay Crowder or Avery Bradley. Bad move by the Blazers, and Derrick Jones Jr. will probably fit in with their offense very well. He's not a very good defender, but he's still better than average. Next up on the list, we have Bobby Portis returning to Chicago after a short stint with the Knicks. Bobby Portis is way under the radar. He's super underrated. I personally am a huge fan of him. He's actually a very good defender. He's a very good role player, and coming off of the bench, he can be very effective. Good move by the Bulls. The Bulls are not going anywhere for the near future. They drafted Patrick Williams at 4th overall when Onyeka Okongwu was still available. Obi Toppin was still available. Even Nico Mannion or Killian Hayes would be a better draft pick than that. Next up, we have Avery Bradley, who did not pick up his 2021 option with the Lakers. The Lakers obviously didn't want them back after they proved that they could win a title without him because he opted out of the bubble. Avery Bradley used to be good. He's still decent. He's a very good fourth quarter player. He's not great at defense. He's kind of shorter. He plays forward/guard. Going to the I don't think I mentioned this. He's going to the Heat, the team that the Lakers beat. So he's kind of replacing Derrick Jones Jr., which I think is a fairly smart move by the Heat. I don't think that they should start him. Avery Bradley is not starter worthy anymore, and the Heat are probably not going to make it back to the finals this year. Next up, we have Jay Crowder joining CP3 over in Phoenix. Jay Crowder, over in the finals was an absolutely horrendous shooter. As a Lakers fan, I definitely thoroughly enjoyed that. He's a very good in-the-paint player. He's very aggressive. He's very emotional about the game, which is definitely something that the Suns will probably need less of because they have Chris Paul, who's one of the most passionate NBA players I've ever seen. And Devin Booker, he's fairly emotional about it. Jay Crowder is definitely gonna start for the Suns. After all, they traded away like the rest of their team in the next few draft picks. And Ricky Rubio, who is a phenomenal player and just got traded elsewhere. And Kelly Oubre Jr., who has enormous potential. Not good whatsoever by the Suns. CP3 is going to be done in a couple years, so they're kind of in a win-now mentality. But with the Timberwolves coming up out of nowhere, Rockets are still really good. The Lakers, if they can re-sign Anthony Davis, are back. The Warriors are not going to be good because Klay Thompson is going to be out for the season with an Achilles injury. The West is fairly wide open. The Clippers are still going to do good, but Montrezl Harrell's now a Laker, which definitely helps the Lakers. It's going to be very interesting to watch how the West plays out this year. Next up, we have Jerami Grant surprising everybody over in Denver, and he is leaving for the Detroit Pistons, who are going to be without Christian Wood this year, so Pistons aren't really going anywhere. Not sure why Jerami Grant would leave the Nuggets. They have huge potential with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. For the Pistons, they were offering the same exact contract, and he decided to go to Detroit. I don't know if it's something with the Detroit culture, if he doesn't like the Denver culture, if Detroit just made him feel more welcome, if he saw more promise in Detroit, which he obviously didn't. Detroit definitely is less potential than the Nuggets. Bad move by Jerami Grant. Great move by the Pistons. He is a very good role player, backup for Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose is still really good. Next up, we have Rajon Rondo signing a 2-year contract with the Hawks. Rondo leaving the Lakers, definitely a minus for the Lakers and a plus for the Hawks. I'm disappointed in the Hawks. They have so much cap space, and all they can do is trade away Dwayne Dedmon and get Rajon Rondo. Are you kidding? That's bad general managing. Maybe Anthony Davis will go there. I highly doubt it. I really do. I really don't see him going there. The Hawks they're a complete mess. Trae Young is basically carrying this team. They're a very young and inexperienced team, which means they show potential. But this is not the kind of potential that you want. You still want to have a decent team, not Trae Young. Trae Young is the entire Atlanta Hawks franchise right now. Next up, we have Robin Lopez signing with the Washington Wizards. Wizards are a complete train wreck. Bradley Beal and John Wall are supposed to be back and better than ever. No, they can't contend in the East with the Bucks and potentially Giannis. They can't contend with even the Raptors. Bad decision by Robin Lopez. Of course, he'll probably be starting there because they do not have a center. Rui Hachimura, he shows huge potential, but he has not improved in the past 2 seasons, sorry. Disappointed in the Wizards, disappointed in Robin Lopez. This is going to be a tough couple last seasons for Robin Lopez. I expect him to retire very, very soon. Another thing that just came in during the filming of this video, Tristan Thompson has signed with the Boston Celtics. Well, okay, yeah, he's still playing great basketball. I'm a huge fan of him. I loved Cleveland when LeBron was there. I think that Tristan Thompson is still a very valuable player. He's going to be replacing Enes Kanter, who's just traded back to the Blazers. Great move by the Celtics. He's very good, and he'll fit that offense perfectly. Finally, we have Gordon Hayward joining LaMelo Ball in Charlotte. This was a huge shocker for me. I was just not expecting this. First of all, I thought that Gordon Hayward was going to re-sign with was going to pick up his option, but instead the Hornets end up paying huge money for Gordon Hayward. He has to be a playmaker this year. If he doesn't, that's going to be a huge disappointment. He's probably going to be cut even before his contract is up. He has not done good. He's definitely been declining ever since his ankle injury with Boston. Coming over from Utah, he only had a short stint with Boston. Of course, it could just be he didn't get to shine on a roster full of talent over in Boston. Of course, yeah, Jason Tatum, like Marcus Smart, yeah, those are crazy good players, but you still have to perform. Great move by the Hornets still. I still applaud them on this because they needed somebody besides LaMelo Ball to lead them. And Gordon Hayward is definitely bringing that veteran experience to the team that they absolutely need.